Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into something deeply fascinating, but honestly, terrifyingly high stakes. We're talking about the rifters of Arcaste. We're going to unpack the heavy and often completely fatal cost of stepping between worlds. Let's look at the folks who literally risk it all to explore the impossible.
So, what does it actually cost to step between worlds? Well, to figure that out, we have to start with the city of Arcaste. Known everywhere as the City of Gates, this place is literally built right on top of hidden pathways. We're talking everyday streets, forgotten towers, even underground tunnels that secretly act as gateways to dead civilizations and super hostile dimensions that completely throw the natural laws of Tanelon right out the window.
Part 1. The City of Gates. The Workers.
To really get what the rifters are all about, you have to understand the absolute overlapping chaos they navigate every single day just to feed Door's endless obsession with alien artifacts. Now, the crazy thing is, a door almost never looks like a normal doorway. To a rifter, it could be a stone arch, a standing mirror, a random crack in a cliff, or a pitch-black pool that only shows up under exactly the right conditions. Sometimes it's just an empty space. They just sense it, like a weird pressure behind the eyes or this gut feeling that an opening is right there, even when it mathematically shouldn't exist.
And I think this perfectly highlights the difference between your standard, traditional magic and what the rifters do. It's like comparing a classically trained musician to someone who just picks up an instrument and naturally shreds. While scholars and mages spend their entire lives memorizing thick books and prepping incredibly complex rituals just to try and crack open a gate, rifters are a whole different breed. They're born with this raw, untaught, totally innate connection to the portals. It's extremely rare, and you absolutely cannot teach someone how to do it.
Actually, there's a saying that hits the nail on the head regarding their totally pragmatic vibe. To them, a door either opens or it does not. They don't care about the academic theory behind why a portal works. No official guilds, no central headquarters, no bosses. They handle their insanely dangerous, reality-bending business right out of the crowded, sticky-floored taverns of Arcaste, running entirely off word-of-mouth reputation. Part 2. Anomalous Anatomy, Natural Abilities. Rifters don't just stumble through doors. Their bodies and minds are practically custom-built to survive what's on the other side. They've got this wild toolkit of traits. For starters, innate omnilingualism. They can just naturally speak every known language without studying a single flashcard, even dead languages. They also have this instinctual stealth and natural acrobatics that let them glide through alien ruins with exceptional balance. But maybe the coolest part? Their minds are completely immune to mind control and illusions that would easily scramble a normal person's brain. So, where on Earth, or off Earth I guess, do these abilities actually come from? The truth is, nobody knows for sure. They can effortlessly understand foreign kings and see right through magical trickery without even trying. The best guess scholars have is that a piece of a rifter's mind always stays anchored between dimensions, which basically short-circuits any magic trying to take root in their brain from a single realm. Pretty wild, right?
Part 3. The Catalyst Traveler's Route.
Okay, here's where the story takes a massive, dark turn away from fun magical exploration. To pull off their absolute biggest trick, which is traveling to another realm without an already existing physical door, rifters have to consume something called Traveler's Root. For you or me, this stuff is a rare, deadly poison. But for a rifter, it's the key to crossing realities. The catch is, it's highly addictive. It totally chains them to this miserable cycle, forcing them to blow all their hard-earned coin in forbidden black markets just to get their next fix. And adding even more layers to this mystery box, where does Traveler's Root actually come from? Despite being able to hop to basically any dimension they can think of, rifters have a total, unexplainable blind spot when it comes to the root itself. They can't trace it, they can't sense a door leading back to its source. It's almost like the universe itself is deliberately hiding where this toxic, essential tool comes from. Part 4. The Mechanics, the Rift Walk. Once that root is consumed, things get trippy fast. The Rift Walk kicks off. It's literally a step-by-step process of realities bleeding together. First, they consume the root and focus. Then, the landscapes begin to overlap. Pieces of totally foreign skies or alien architectures start merging with the normal cobblestones of Arcaste. Next, the original landscape completely fades away. And finally, the destination goes solid. And if a rifter brings a crew with them, they better stick close. If anyone lags behind while those landscapes are overlapping, they literally vanish into the void. Poof, gone forever. Now here's the brutally ironic part of the job.
Rich employers obviously want protection, right? So they insist on bringing along tons of clunky, heavily armed guards and chatty scholars. But dragging a huge group through a rift walk creates a massive dimensional disturbance. It's like ringing a giant cosmic dinner bell. It practically guarantees a hostile attack from whatever is lurking out there.
Part 5. The Cosmic Threat. Dimensional Monsters.
Which brings us face to face with the things waiting in the dark spaces between dimensions. Why do these creatures react to rifters with such immediate, overwhelming violence? The second they sense a rifter, or even just catch a whiff of unconsumed traveler's route, they snap. They actively hunt them down to violently stop the rift walk, trapping the rifter and their whole expedition in that unstable, overlapping space between realms.
And surviving that first trip through the void? Yeah, that's not enough. Every single second a rifter spends away from their home mortal realm of Tanelon, this unseen presence starts building up. It's called the dimensional echo. It gets louder, spreads farther, and eventually culminates in this terrifying physical tug on the rifter's soul. It's literally a cosmic warning telling them their time is up, and they need to get back to Tanelon right away to reset the clock.
Part 6. The In-Betweeners, Hunters of the Void.
So what happens if a rifter ignores that soul tug? Well, they attract the true apex predators, the in-betweeners. These aren't just mindless beasts. They're highly intelligent, purposeful hunters. They're these tall, pale beings with solid black eyes, and they hunt in incredibly coordinated packs to surround their target and cut off escape. Actually, some scholars think they aren't even monsters at all, but more like cosmic jailers enforcing some ancient universal law that rifters broke by hopping realities.
And they come totally equipped for the job. They carry these terrifying hooked chains, designed specifically for this hunt. The absolute second those hooks sink into a rifter's flesh, it causes mind-shattering, extreme pain and instantly neutralizes their powers. Doesn't matter how much traveler's route they have in their system, bam, their ability to rift walk is totally stripped away, leaving them completely helpless in the void.
And that brings us to the scariest unknown of this whole terrifying ordeal. Where are the captured taken? The in-betweeners don't just kill rifters on the spot. They take them alive, and no rifter dragged away by these pale hunters has ever been seen again. Ever. Their ultimate fate is a total, horrifying blank page.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, the tragic reality of the rifters really comes into focus. You've got poisoned bodies hooked on traveler's route, relentless cosmic horrors, and literal unseen jailers lurking in the void. Yet, because the Realm of Dor has an endless hunger for ancient knowledge and alien artifacts, these desperate folks are always going to keep kicking those doors wide open. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? At what point does the cost of crossing the threshold become way too high a price for humanity to pay?